See this guy right here? His name's Jeremy. He'll be my sidekick for this video, and together we're gonna help you save $172 million in Ethereum gas fees. Ain't that right, Jeremy? What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Harvest Finance, and my name is Mike. You know what? It doesn't even matter. Let's just jump right in and talk about Harvest Finance and how it's going to actually help you save money on gas fees and get insane 800+% yields. Harvest Finance automatically finds you the best rates for staking tokens, saving you heaps of money in Ethereum gas fees that you would have wasted trying to do this the manual way. Here's how it works. You simply pair up your crypto wallet with Harvest Finance from their front page, and you go ahead and deposit those stable coins or whatever token you want directly into Harvest Finance. Then you start earning yields or interest for you noobs for staking your crypto with Harvest Finance. 70% of that money goes in and provides liquidity for the rest of the pool in Harvest Finance, therefore making your money that you hold there more valuable. 30% of it is paid out in rewards for people who actually stake the farm tokens with Harvest Finance. So here's where it gets super cool, because what you can actually do is go in, put money in, get paid back in farm tokens, then stake that there and get paid 30% of those transaction fees, therefore compounding the money that you can make with Harvest Finance. If you're confused right now, don't worry. In a second, I'll bring it up on the screen and we'll actually walk through step by step and show you what it looks like and how it works. I think it's great for a decentralized yield farming platform to actually do that 30% revenue share with people who are staking their tokens with them. So that gives you skin in the game and incentive to actually go in and stake and increase that value of the farm token. But that's not where it ends. The farm token pool actually receives weekly emissions from the 690,000 plus farm tokens that are paid out and that go back into that pool. So there's several different ways you can actually earn revenue and get those yields. I know right now it all may sound a bit confusing if you're new to yield farming. So what I want to do is jump over to the Harvest Live dashboard to show you how it works in context. All right, guys, so here we are in the Harvest Live dashboard. Let's actually look at a couple things. Let's only look at the stuff that matters. There's a lot of stuff in here, but as far as getting a better understanding of this and seeing it in context, let's talk about a few things. So let's look at the actual price of farm right now. It's $274.42. Like, believe it or not, I started doing this research about an hour and a half. It was around right under 260. I want to say it was like 258 about an hour and a half ago. It's moved that quick in price, and as we make our way through this video, you guys are going to start to understand how the farm token is moving that fast and why. So looking at it right now, we got an ETH gas price of 21 Gwei. Here we don't really care about the prices of Bitcoin and stuff right now because that's not what this is about. And we got 47.4% of farm staked. That's important to know, with a total of $347,400 for those people who are actually staking that farm token with Harvest Finance, guys. So that's how much money they're pulling in weekly in that liquidity pool. So that brings me to the actual main point of this video and how you can save so much money on gas fees. Like it says here, $171.5 million on gas fees. It's pretty simple how that works. It's just a liquidity pool. So if you look at this right now, there's 29,130 users. 47.4% of those people actually stake their money with Harvest Finance. So for the sake of math, since I'm no freaking mathematician, let's say 30,000 and 50%. So if it's 30,000 people and 50% of those are staking their money, you got 15,000 people that are spreading those gas fees out amongst each other. So they're non-existent. You don't have to worry about them. 15,000 people there with their farm token staked. So every time that Harvest Finance goes in and automatically finds you the best yields, they can do as many transactions as they want because they have a pool of 15,000 plus people and counting right now to kind of spread the love and the price of that 21 Gwei and gas fees across each other. So don't get confused, though. It is super simple. If you've never heard of what a liquidity pool is or don't know about smart contracts and dApps, feel free to click the video that I'll put up in the corner somewhere up here. You guys can have a look at it after this video just to further your understanding of how smart contracts and dApps work. But for you guys that do know, super simple. All liquidity pools is a way to go in, pool your money together, and pay less on fees. But it's super simple to understand. Huge pool of people. Don't have to worry about gas fees because we spread it off. It's just like if you were chipping in money to buy a gift for somebody at work. You pay a small amount the more people you get into the pool. That's how this farm token pool works. Don't overcomplicate it, guys. Super simple. Let's go ahead and move on and talk about the tokenomics now and break that down so we can kind of see how much momentum the farm token and Harvest Finance can actually get based on the current market cap. And look at what I see on my screen right now, guys. I tell you no lies. I never refreshed my screen from when I was doing my research an hour and a half ago, and it was showing $259 like I said before. But let's refresh the screen and see how much the price has moved just in the time between when I first started doing research and recorded this video. Let's refresh it now and let's watch and see what the price is right now. Remember, 259.31, about I'll say an hour and a half ago. I'm gonna hit refresh now. And look at that, $279.65, up 46.71% already. So this freaking farm token is moving as we speak. Like, I should stop this video and go chuck some money into it right now, because this thing's taking off right now, guys. You can see the proof is in the pudding. 259 an hour and a half ago, 279.47 right now. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump in and let's talk about why this thing is moving and why the ceiling is so high. So the first thing I look at on these tokens is that I want to find out what the actual market cap is. So if I go in as a market cap of $166 million, like I said, up 44.94%. in the last couple of days. So the reason why this is important is that only ranks it at number 250 on the coin market cap charts, guys. So $279. We know that there's constant buying pressure on the farm token, because as you stake it and buy it, you get rewarded with higher APIs and yields, right? So that price is going to always go up. But a couple things I want to look at: the market cap, like I said before, only $166 million there. I mean, you look at Bitcoin and the rest of them being up in the billions, there's plenty of room to run. And if we looked at Yearn Finance, Yearn is also up there. That'll be the quickest comparable. So if we looked at their market cap, I would actually compare it to them to get an accurate price prediction. I'm not going to do it in this video, but if you want to do it, the best thing to do is to look at Yearn's market cap, do the multiples. You can figure out how high this can go. Also, when it first came out back in the end of 2020, it was at $1,700. So $250 or $279 is actually a steal on something like Harvest Finance from a price point perspective, not financial advice. I'm just showing you the numbers, and the numbers never lie. Here's a couple of things I want to look at as well. Like we can see, it's crazy volume in the past 24 hours. Oh, if you guys were wondering why so much volume in Harvest Finance and the farm token, is because it just got listed on Coinbase. So a quick hot tip: if you want to go in and try to find out which tokens are about to take a run, look at tokens that are actually backed by Coinbase Ventures, or you can go in and do a little bit of research and find out what's about to be listed on Coinbase and what the dates are. And a lot of times on those rumors, or once it gets listed, you'll see some movement. Also in my Discord, I have an automatic Coinbase tracker there, and it goes through and shows you up to the second new tokens that have been added to Coinbase. But that's why it's moving right now. Just got added to Coinbase, so we got a lot of volume, and it's a small market cap. And here's where it gets super cool as well. So if we go in here and have a look, we can kind of look at, we already talked about the TVL, or total value locked, being 438 million, but check this out. So the max supply is 690,420. People love that 420 in the crypto world, huh? And then the total supply is 633. And look at what's circulating already. 86% is already out there. So 594 tokens and growing, as I record this video, are already out there in the market, right? So what that means is that this is going to create even more buying pressure for farm, and there's going to be a lot of more scarcity as well. When you look at it, there are only 100,000 tokens off of that total lifetime supply of the tokens, and they'll all be locked up. And the way that this works, if people are smart, they're actually going to stake it. So like we said before, it's only 50% of people staking their farm tokens right now. That's definitely going to change as people learn more about Harvest Finance and realize the gains they can make with that. So that was some big things to look at. Just to recap: max supply, right? 690,420. And circulating supply, 594,373. I don't know what's up with me today. I want to say 594,000 or 690,000. I'm tripping today. Anyway, but that's how we got it right now. We got the max supply and total supply. There's not a lot of tokens outstanding out there. So that's creating a lot of pressure, because we know scarcity, just like when you can't get those Red October Yeezys, that price goes up because there's not a lot of them out there. Shout out to my sneakerheads here as well. So going through here, the other thing I want to look at, like I talked about in my FE Finance video, I actually want to look at the holders and see how concentrated the actual total circulation of something like Harvest Finance is. So we look at the holder statistics here. So there's 9,129 total addresses, with the top 10 holders 77%, 85% here, 94, 96. So it feels pretty fair and equitable as far as the distribution goes, with those main holders, right? It's spread out. If I've seen like the top 10 being a huge percentage, then I may get nervous. But we can dig a little bit deeper and do a little bit more of our own research here to find out how tightly controlled it is. So if I look at the top farm tokens by addresses balance, we can go down here And I see that there's one address that has 296,000 of those tokens. And that's 46% of the total supply. And then I got 50 here, 30, 39, 14, 12, 12. At first glance, you may get nervous when you see a wallet holding this big amount of tokens. But here's my thesis on this. I think this is actually the wallet that provides the rewards and the farm tokens to the other wallets there as well. That's where they're holding that 50%, because all they're doing is trickling down those rewards to these other wallets as they come through and put more farm tokens in. That's why I feel like that one exists. That's just my thesis. We could go on the blockchain or ETH scan to find out exactly what's happening with this wallet and seeing what transactions are in and out. But I feel pretty good that that's probably what's happening there. That's why it's a wallet that has so many of them, because they're just providing those farm tokens as a reward for everybody else for staking with them. So from everything I see here at first glance, without digging too deep, everything looks okay on the tokenomics, right? The main thing that's going to help it really shoot through the roof is that as that circulating supply starts to increase and we reach more of that max supply, it's going to be even more scarce and it's really going to push up. So like I said before, here's that quick spike up to almost $1,700 that they had back in September when they launched. Actually, $1,669.81 is what their hit. And then they pop back down. It's been trading at 225, had a little spike up here as well, made it to 369, 370. And now we're probably on our way back up to push back over that 300 mark, because if you look at it, there's not a lot of resistance in these areas here above that 350 or so. So this token definitely has a super duper high ceiling. I don't know if it'll hit 1,600, but it can easily hit $700 or $800. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just looking at the charts and kind of breaking it down and showing you guys the potential of a token like this. So it's definitely something that I am going to invest in, just so I can kind of go along for the ride, because it makes a lot of sense to jump in. And I'm always looking for different places to actually do yield farming or to stake my tokens at. I have part of my money over at Celsius, which I'll talk about in a later video, that gets me 8.8% on my USDC stablecoin. But if you want to actually yield farm, it's a little bit more risky, but you can get those bigger returns. Here's a quick example of some of the returns in the APY you can expect to get if you're jumping in with Harvest Finance and doing yield farming, and it's automatically updating for you. 432 million in TVL, or total value locks, with Harvest, and climbing. That's crazy with it. But if you look at this, let's kind of break it down and look at some of the APYs you can get. Like, I have it broken down by the highest yield you can get. So you got this liquidity pool here that's offering 833.94% APY if you stake your Muse tokens with them. And it kind of breaks down how you actually paid out in that yield, guys. So this is why yield farming is so powerful. Like, that is insane, the amount you can get. Like, but I'll be completely honest, I don't know what the heck Muse is, so I would not look at this. I don't know what Fox is, so I would look at that. I keep on going, and I would probably play around with the farm and ETH liquidity pool, and that gives you 232% on your crypto. And the way it breaks down is that you get that from liquidity, from providing liquidity in there, and you get that 31.4% back in those farm token rewards. Remember, farm token is going up like crazy. It went from 250 to 279 within an hour, and you get that rewarded that back just for staking your crypto in this liquidity pool. So when I go in, I'm actually going to stake with this one because it makes the most sense for me, and I know that it's 1.28 million deposits already locked into that liquidity farm. So this is the one I would go with. If you have a little bit higher risk tolerance or some more disposable income, you can play around with these 833% runners, but you got to have a lot of confidence in the Muse token, whatever the heck that is. I would, not financial advice, but I would go with the farm in Ethereum, because I understand how the farm token works and why it has value, and I definitely understand Ethereum. That's what I would do. I would just stake ETH there and play around in that liquidity pool, and that's what I'm actually going to do. It's cross-chain, so they have Binance Smart Chain and Polygon as well. So if you look at this one, we can look at some of the harvests as well. So ICE/BNB gets you 758, 793, over 300K on deposit in there. So some pretty juicy yields. But like I said, you got to know what these tokens are that you get rewarded back in, or that you actually lock up. I don't know what these tokens are, so I wouldn't have any to actually lock up in here. And then of course you got Polygon and Matic, and it's pretty simple. They're just playing around with QuickSwap, Sushi. And so this Sushi Swap USDC to ETH and USDT is interesting as well. I fully understand those, and I'm a holder of all of that. So 40% there, 37% there. So that's another liquidity pool that I wouldn't be afraid to play around with because I'm bullish on the Polygon blockchain as well. And then here's a quick little breakdown here. So once again, monthly profits to farmers, 3.2 million, which is crazy, right? So 3.2 million and climbing in monthly profits to farmers just for playing with Harvest Finance. And then remember what I said before about people actually getting paid out from the emissions decrease. So in 3 days, if you're actually staking your farm tokens, you'll get paid out even more money from this percentage of the emissions decrease. And then here's a quick little breakdown of the staking APY, 49%. So we're already climbing towards that 50% farm stake. So remember, the more farm we get staked, the better for something like Harvest Finance. And it's only going to rise, and that price is going to just keep creating buying pressure, and it's going to keep running up, guys. So this is going to run up quick. I guarantee you, if I do an update in a few days, it's already going to be up over $300-400 easily, the way that it's moving and this momentum that it has from being listed on Coinbase. And then you got 432 million locked up that are auto harvesting yields in the automated process with Harvest Finance. Click right up here next to watch my video about smart contracts and dApps so you can get a better understanding of all this, and click over there next to it somewhere to watch my video about what DeFi all is so you can really get your head around this and get introduced to yield farming and start actually making some of those juicy gains.